Assalamualaikum everyone. For tutorial today, I am going to explain to you on how to answer the problematic questions on negligence. I want everyone to focus because starting from today's tutorial, we are going to do exercise on problematic questions. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, this topic, law of thought, is very important because this topic will be assessed in your final assessment later. So in your final assessment, there will be two questions of problematic questions coming from law of thought. So I don't know, okay, if the question is on negligence or defamations or other types of thought. So please focus. Then later, if you have any question, please ask. Okay, so here I provide you example of question. This is the final exam questions. Okay, now let me read the question to you. After checking in at Comfy Hotel, Maya took a shower to freshen up. While she was using the hair dryer provided by the hotel, she suddenly smelled something burning. She then realized that the hair dryer was on fire. She managed to put out the fire, but her hair was damaged. She was devastated and wanted to take legal action against Comfy Hotel for her injury. Advised Maya. So this is the example of situations of a negligence. So how to detect that this question is under negligence? Because in final assessments or in face-to-face final examinations, some of the questions will not tell you. For example, advise Maya on her rights against a Comfy Hotel under law of negligence. So yang ni dah memang specific rights. Okay, but this is this situation just stated advise Maya. Okay, so how you predict that this is under negligence? Okay, you have to look into the damage. Okay, normally negligence will resulted in damage. So in this case, her hair was damaged. Okay, burn out because of the fire. Alright, so how to answer a problematic question? We will use the formula of ILAC. Okay, I stand for an issue, L stand for law, A stand for applications, and C stand for conclusion. So in order to answer essay question on problematic, okay, based on these situations, you have to answer based on issue, law, applications, and conclusions. This is very important. This is the only principle that you must follow every time you answer problematic questions in law subject. Okay, so this is also important for your next semester because you are going to take another law subject, commercial law, right? Okay. Okay, so the issue, how you will identify the issue? Okay, first we need to identify what is the problem suffered by Maya here. Okay, there was damage, okay, on Maya's hair because of what? Okay, because of the hair dryer was on fire. And who provide the hair dryer? The Comfy Hotel. Okay, so now we know the problem, so we want to advise Maya on how she is going to take action against Comfy Hotel. So this is how you should create your issue. You must start with the words whether. Okay, so whether here is very important. Okay, start your issue with whether. Whether Comfy Hotel, you must include the name of the default party. Default party here is a defendant in this case, Comfy Hotel, who caused the injury to Maya. So whether Comfy Hotel can be made liable under the law of negligence for causing injury to Maya. So this is how you state your issue. So this is also known as very common issue for negligence, and it must include both claimant and default party. Okay, as a plaintiff against a defendant. So we know that Maya is the plaintiff here, the claimant. Okay, so the specific issue must state the law of tort itself. So in this case, it involves law of negligence for causing injury to Maya. Or another issue you can use here is whether Maya can take legal action against Comfy Hotel for negligence. So this issue is very simple yet specific. Why specific? Because you state the tort there. Okay, tort of negligence. Okay, so later in your final assessment, please don't give me option. Jangan letak or. This is only the example that you can follow. Okay, because I explaining to you the guideline. So nanti dalam final assessment, jangan pula you bagi I choice to choose whether this issue or this issue. Okay, I want only one issue. Okay. Next, we move on to the law. Okay, this is the new paragraph for you. Okay, so you have to first, start your law paragraph with definitions of negligence. Okay, this is also called as an introduction. And then you must start with the definitions of negligence. Okay, and then next, first element. Okay, you discuss the first elements of negligence. Okay, in law paragraph, normally you can state the definitions, the elements, if any, the test, okay, and case. Okay, first elements of negligence is a duty of care owed by the defendant. So you must explain completely all elements of negligence and must include tests and decided case for each element. Remember class, you have to include decided case for each element. Okay, for example, okay, this is how you answer. You state the first elements, okay, and then you explain the first element. So in the first element there is a neighbor principle. So this is the test. Okay, jangan pula you just state neighbor principle, you have to explain. Okay, and then this is a case provided in first elements of negligence. Okay, you give me the general principle of the case only. So how to write the general principle? Please refer to the court held or decisions of the case. So kat sini you akan know lah. Okay, the keywords in every case must state the defendant is liable or defendant is not liable, because okay, jangan pula you just state that in the case of Donahue against Stevenson, the court held that the defendant is liable. Full stop. No, this is not the principle. Okay, this is only the court judgment. You have to give your reason extend. Okay, further extend your principle of the case. Okay, then followed by second elements, we have a breach of duty of care on the part of the defendant, a reasonableness test. Okay, you bagi example of case. And then the third elements, the damage suffered by the plaintiff, we have one test, a but-for test. So you include a case for causations in fact. Okay, Barnett and Chelsea and Kensington Hospital Management Committee. This is how you explain the general principle. Okay, you state that okay, the doctor had breached his duty of care for not treating the patient, but that breach did not cause the plaintiff husband death. So in this case, the first and second elements of negligence have been fulfilled, but the third element is not fulfilled because that breach did not cause the plaintiff husband death. So the defender was not liable for negligence. So this is how you explain the general principle of the case. Okay, next. Okay, you give the example of Wugermount. Kenapa Wugermount? Because you need to explain case for causation in law. Okay, so the court held that it was unforeseeable that a fuel on the surface of the water would catch fire, and therefore the type of damage suffered by the plaintiff was not foreseeable. Thus, the defender was held not liable. Tengok, you bagi the judgments of the case. Okay, applications of the law. This is very important. The process is important. Application is where you will apply each elements above into the situations, into the Maya situations. Take note dekat law tadi, in law paragraph, do not mention the name of parties yet. Who are the parties in this case? Maya and Comfy Hotel. So jangan masukkan nama Maya and Comfy Hotel in the law paragraph. You just include a plaintiff, a defendant, itu sahaja. But in the application, jangan pula you include the plaintiff, defendant. You have to apply. That's why you have to use the name of the parties. Okay. So, based on the situation given, Maya suffered injury while she was using a faulty hairdryer provided by Comfy Hotel. Thus, Maya was Comfy's hotel neighbor. So, this is how you apply neighbor principles test. Okay, as it was reasonably foreseeable that providing faulty hairdryers to customers would injure the customers. Therefore, the first element was fulfilled as Comfy Hotel owed Maya a duty of care. So you must state this. Okay, must mention this to show whether the elements fulfilled or not. So you kena masukkanlah at the end of the applications of each element, you must include that whether the element is fulfilled or not. Okay, applying the second elements, a reasonable hotel will have ensured that all electrical appliances which are provided to their customers are regularly maintained and are in good conditions, and thus providing a faulty hairdryer to Maya, Comfy Hotel had done something which a reasonable hotel would not have done. Okay, this is how we apply the reasonable man test in the second elements. Comfy's hotel's conduct had fallen below the minimum standard required of a reasonable hotel, and consequently Comfy Hotel had breached their duty of care to Maya. And then you mentioned the second element was fulfilled. Okay, move on to the next element, third elements of negligence. In these problems, the injury to Maya only happened because Comfy Hotel provided a faulty hairdryer to Maya. So now we need to know the cause of damage. Okay. Causation in fact. Maya would not have suffered injury had Comfy Hotel not provided her with a faulty hairdryer. The injury suffered by Maya was in fact caused by the breach of duty of Comfy's Hotel in providing a faulty hairdryer to her and damage, and therefore causation in fact has been proved. So in this case there was a causation in fact. Okay, and then in addition, this is now you applying the causation in law. In Maya's case, however, the causing injuries to customer is a type of damage which was reasonably foreseeable to have been caused by providing faulty hairdryer to customer. So kalau you guna faulty hairdryer, this is the type of damage that was reasonably foreseeable. So the third element was fulfill. See, you mention fulfill, and fulfill. Kalau tak fulfill, you mention was not fulfill. So in the application, you have to give your own arguments. This one you memang cannot copy paste from textbook, okay, any other article, because this is solely your own words, because you have to apply the law into the situations given. Okay, in conclusions, you must answer back the issue. and then you must state whether she has succeeded in proving all elements or not, and then state whether the defendant is liable or not. This is how you answer the conclusions. Maya has succeeded in proving all the elements of negligence, and therefore Comfy Hotel can be made liable under the law of negligence for causing injury to Maya. Okay, see, now you answering back your issue. Okay, so I hope that this is the clear explanations, okay, in brief explanation to you all, so that you know how to answer an ILAC question later. Okay, after this I'm going to give you one exercise on problematic questions. Okay, alright, so if you have any question, please ask me. Thank you everyone. Assalamualaikum.